Things about our next guest. He is one of the best-known wrestlers in all of the world, yet Gloria Steinem, and he hails from Scotland, but Gloria Steinem says he's not fit to wear a skirt. Sports Illustrated calls him the most contemptible of all wrestling heels. And the World Wrestling Federation champion, Hulk Hogan, says this: when you hate yourself, I guess you end up like Roddy Piper. Now, I don't know why those people are saying those terrible things. Let's bring the man out and find out. Here he is, Roddy Piper.
How you folks doing, man?
Welcome.
How are you?
Roddy.
Ready?
Good to see you.
How are you?
Please, have a seat.
That's nice. That don't always happen to me. Yeah.
That is kind
Usually they're throwing stuff at me,
You're
man.
such a bad guy.
I'm kinder to children than the Waltons.
Oh,
Wonderful.
guy.
Yes.
Well, have a seat and make yourself comfortable. This is kind of a homecoming for you because you spent some time in these parts applying your craft. Did you not, Roddy?
My family lives here. My daughter lives here. My wife's going to have a baby any hour. They live here.
Your wife?
I heard Buddy Rose on here. He says Springsteen and Piper came here and married women from the Northwest. He says, I don't go out with women with the Northwest. I import them. I don't blame you because nobody will go out with you except for two male Doberman pinchers I saw the other day.
Oh, I think I changed my mind.
Yes, you notice that Buddy Rose never leaves the Northwest. He just keeps pacing up and down that bridge with his magnifying shorts on, looking for attention. Yeah.
He's the man you're meeting tonight, is that right?
Yeah, the fellow with the almost dyed blonde hair.
Yeah.
He's the fellow. Yeah,
That guy.
he's the one.
There's a myth that says that professional wrestlers don't get hurt. Do you guys ever really get hurt? Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that about answers that, huh?
Yeah, I guess you do.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just at the chiropractor this morning, a fellow named Rathbone, new chiropractor. Nice fella. In Beaverton. He's fixing me up. I get hurt a lot, had a lot of stuff. These folks have seen me hurt a lot before. That don't really matter. You know, I ain't going to cry about that. That's what I'm there for, man. I'm there to get hurt.
Why do you think, boy, Madison Square Garden is filled. You participated in WrestleMania. It's on cable. It's on television.
You getting tired of it? Is there too much wrestling on TV?
Well,
you think so?
not at my house. The kids
Really?
love it. But what do
You folks think there's too much wrestling on
What do
TV?
you think?
Ah, you fibbers, man. You're lying.
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, why is it happening all of a sudden, do you think, Roddy?
Me?
You? Yeah, okay.
well, that answers the question.
No, I know why it's happening. I know why it's happening. Because right now they have I got a grade 8 education, so I'm not included in these folks. But most of the folks, non-professional wrestlers, all are college grads. They all start when they're about 25. I started when I was 16. They're smart. They're great athletes. They're out there. They're all, and I think people are appreciating that now. They appreciate what they're getting. Before, you used to have a bunch of barroom brawlers, a bunch of bums, and we've had a lot of trouble living down that reputation. But we've done it now, and they're creeping out of the closet now to come down and watch, and rightfully so, because I think they should have stayed in the closet, because sometimes folks were saying they were ashamed to come out, and I don't blame you. I think sometimes 20 years ago, 15 years ago, you should have been ashamed, but now you ain't got nothing to be ashamed about, and if you do, you come talk to me, man. I'll straighten you right out.
That the people who used to go to the wrestling matches were what have been termed knuckle draggers. They clean the bleachers out of them, and now the crowd that is involved in WrestleMania, they're the quiche and Volvo crowd, the yuppies. A whole different segment of the population is now coming out and saying, I like it, this is good entertainment.
Yeah.
Do you find it? Okay, well,
I agree with that. I don't know about dragging knuckles. I know some goofball in the Oregonian one time I saw was here, and I wrestled, and the guy in the Oregonian says, I went to the wrestling matches, and all I saw was all these people, and of course there was a whole bunch of people there. There was thousands of them. And they came in and they all had beer cans in the back seat of the car. That I fail to believe. They're all nasty, they're all unshaven, and these are the same people that are buying your Oregonian newspaper, and here you are sitting knocking all these nice people that are coming down here, so I hope you don't have a job anymore, man, because you're a real goof. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll get the message. I'm so happy you're here because I've been wanting to ask this question of you for a long time, and I've seen your show, I've seen Piper's Pit, and so forth. I have never understood why a man who is as strong as you are and as talented as you are needs this guy Ace, Cowboy Bob Horton, as a bodyguard. I mean, what's the
There's people
point?
taking pot shots, all kinds of people taking cheap pot shots right now. Portland, I
But
like
you can
Portland.
defend yourself, can't you, Rod?
Against how many? Not against this room. It depends. There's all kinds of guys in there to make. Like Rose, all of a sudden, I didn't see Rose from no place. Nobody's heard of Rose. All of a sudden, the last 3 weeks, nobody fight me. In the last 3 weeks, he wants to come here. He wants to fight me because he's got something to gain. If I beat Buddy Rose up, people are going to say, oh, he beat Buddy Rose up again. They're going to mean nothing. I'm going to go home with nothing. He beats me up and gets the victory over me. He's got something to gain. So when you got people taking pot shots like that, he's actually starving for a career right now.
Buddy
Exactly what he's doing. Now, I ain't taking nothing to get away from as far as his guts because nobody else would really wanted to fight when I came here. The only reason I'm here is for Don Owens, the old coot. 60 years, I got to give him credit. 60 years.
He's the promoter. Who do you like out here? Who looks good out here? Who could go compete in the WWF with you?
Man.
Could Billy Jack compete in the WWF?
Yeah. Figure so?
Some of these people think so.
Yeah. I tell you, I really haven't seen him fight, but I know he's a pretty big boy, and I know he's real popular. I think that it would be a mistake on his part to jump too soon because that can certainly ruin a man's career. But if he is ready, come on down. The water's fine, but it's up to about here, brother.
Okay, we have a lot of wrestling fans in the audience and at home. For those of you who are not wrestling fans, have never really gotten into the sport, the entertainment, in Portland, you have 1,500 fans at one time, and they'll pay $6 for a ticket. What do you give them?
What do I give him? I give him my sweat, my blood.
That's pretty good for $6,
Yeah,
wouldn't
for
you say?
$6.
And a free box of popcorn if they bring a kid.
I think that's a good entertainment deal. Okay.
We are going to continue our conversation with Roddy Piper and maybe find out why he was such a crowd pleaser in Portland and is such a rule breaker now on the East Coast. You'll get a chance to ask your questions when we continue the visit with Roddy Piper.
Stay with us as we continue our discussion with pro wrestler Roddy Piper. If you'd like to ask Roddy a question, in Portland, call 231-4252. Toll free in Oregon, 1-800-452-2487. Or toll free in Washington, 1-800-547-8450. And please have your question ready.
Rox makes over 200 tempting candies using fresh, delicious ingredients. So there's only one.
Welcome back to 2 at 4. Wrestling fans everywhere know him. His name is Roddy Piper, and everyone thinks he's just a really bad guy. But I have somebody in the audience, one person, who will attest to the fact that he's not all that bad. His wife, Kitty. Welcome to 2 at 4. Is he all that bad? Yeah. He is all that bad.
Sure. Once you learn to talk louder than him, though, it's not.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
I might mention, in case you can't see Kitty, because all you can see is from the neck up, Kitty is very pregnant, is about to have a baby. When?
Today?
Yay, oh good. We'll have it live right here on 2 at 4. Won't that be exciting? What do you feel like when you have people say, oh, that guy is awful. How in the world could you be married to him?
I like being associated with him because in his heart, he knows the difference between right and wrong.
That's a good answer.
Very good answer.
Better say that. That's my wife, man.
Oh, yeah, that's a wonderful answer. Who can think of a better answer than that? You know, she is such a beautiful lady, and it's very possible that your next child could be born here in Portland. Is that correct?
Oh,
Yeah, because we're any second.
Look at that,
yeah,
man.
really.
Boy, she's porch right out, huh? But I love her.
On another subject, and I hope you don't mind me bringing it up, but WrestleMania, and of course this part of the country benefited from all the promotion that the whole country received and so forth and so on. And tell us what happened. Finally, you were not victorious that night with Mr. Wonderful. And in fact, Mr. Wonderful isn't real hot on your act anymore at all, is he?
Well, because there's an advertisement company for Mr. Wonderful. They want to put their name on the bottom of the shoes because that's where it's seen most.
Oh,
Yeah, see, I came unscathed. I didn't get beat at anything.
you didn't win.
My side didn't win, you could say. I haven't had my shoulders pinned in so long I can't remember. Paul Orndorff, you're not getting smart with me now.
No, I'm just wondering.
Paul Orndorff got beaten. I guess he's I'm just checking on you.
Yeah, just curious. Because you did not win that match, despite all the things that were
That's 3
said.
times you said that. Listen, this is a guy 40 years old wearing hush puppy with navy blue socks, man. Are you kidding me? Yeah, at least I'm cool. I don't try to dress up. They know I'm a slob, man.
You know, though, I haven't worn a skirt in years. Kilt,
Yeah.
He would.
Really, huh?
He wouldn't hurt me on TV, would he? No.
You should let me ask the nasty
ask
questions.
go
Well,
ahead,
these aren't
Mary.
nasty questions.
Go
We
ahead.
have a lot of people in the audience who are just chomping at the bit to ask you a question. But I wanted to ask you, you are going to be on 3 episodes of All My Children, which will be shot in New York next Monday. And
Yeah.
you just made an MTV video
We'll play
for the
Baby
movie.
Huey. Boy, I'm on my
Goonies.
shoulders.
Now, you are actually in your own right at this point a star. This is entertainment. What kind of parts are you going to be playing, and how do you get involved in that kind of entertainment?
I don't know. They phoned this guy. I just found out they just phoned this guy and asked him to come down, and they offered a bunch of money. I said yes.
What kind of part? What will you be playing on All My Children?
What kind of part?
Uh-huh.
Just myself.
Just
myself.
yourself.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what the storyline is?
Would you tune in if I did?
You bet.
Well, I don't know really. I suppose they're going to have Hulk Hogan on there too, and myself. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe they want us to bust up some furniture or something. It's not a good idea for them to
Can't
put
get a
us
straight
both
answer
there.
out of this guy. You just can't.
That could be
You
right.
didn't want me here to give you straight answers. You want straight answers, you would have got Reagan here, man.
Okay.
We have
Can
a
try an
question
audience
from one
question?
of our young fans.
All right.
Yes, I would like to know why you were in Portland and you were good, and now you go to WWF and you're bad.
Well, I just suppose it depends on what you call good and bad. I don't think there's anything changed about me. I think I talk about the same, and I think I fight about the same. I think that the folks in Portland, Oregon, I fought here for so long, they got tired of booing me and said, well, we'll cheer him for a while. Well, I'm back there in New York. There's a whole bunch more different people all over the country, and I tend to voice my opinion. They think I'm bad, but I really don't care what they think either way, whether they think I'm good or bad, because I'm fighting to eat. It makes a big difference.
Let's go to the phones, Roddy, and see what the people at home want to ask you this afternoon. Hello, you're on 2 at 4 with Roddy Piper.
Hi, my name is Erica Chandler from Tiger, and I was wondering, if Roddy Piper doesn't like Cyndi Lauper so much, how come he's in a music video?
Because Steven Spielberg gave me 50 grand. So I said, yeah, I'll come down there, even though she only got hair on one side of her head. You keep her away from me, Cyndi Lauper, that is. That she was the only one in WrestleMania that had hair in her chest, man, other than myself. So 50 grand and Steven Spielberg asked me. That's the answer to your question.
Is there ever any chance that things might soften between you and Cindy, and you might ultimately be friends?
There's nothing to soften other, there's nothing to soften. She asked me out one day, dear. I mean, there's nothing to soften. She has nothing to offer me. She's in a rock, and all these rock and roll people all of a sudden are getting down on me because of Cyndi Lauper. What does she have to offer me? She's going to tell me how to be a better fighter. Am I going to tell her how to be a better singer? I don't particularly like her. I don't particularly like what she's doing to the youth. My wife and I were in whatever it was we were in the other day, and there was this girl in there, and she had makeup on, and the makeup was trying to show that she was bruised. My girl comes home like that. She ain't going to need makeup for a month, man. You want some bruises, I'll give you. This is what she's doing, so I don't think there's anything really to make up.
Well, you feel fairly strongly about that. Okay, let's go back to the
You could say that.
Yeah.
Hi, your name and where you're from?
Mary Casey from Portland, and I was just wondering what it took you to get to where you are today. Like, what's the bad side of this? You're where the money is now. What did you have to go through to get there?
I stayed at the Bomber Hotel for a month. I don't know if you know where that is. Got a big airplane on it. Stayed in all kinds of flea bag hotels and fought for $25 a fight. I've been fighting 14 years professionally. 30 years old now, so I suppose just like anything else, there ain't no sob story, Just like littlest hobo running around and finally got good enough that I could make it.
How about after wrestling, Roddy? You must be looking down the road. You can't do this forever. Body won't
I'm
last
making
that
kids.
long.
I'm going to make kids.
Make children?
Make all kinds of kids. Yeah.
Well, we want to wish you and Kitty all of the luck in the world with your second child. Kitty, I hope things go very well for you. Certainly you couldn't have a more supportive father, I wouldn't think, than this 250-pound gentleman. We would like to tell the people in our audience that Roddy is here tonight, as he pointed out, to take part in Don Owen's 60th anniversary wrestling extravaganza. It takes place at 8 o'clock over at Memorial Coliseum, 235-8771 for ticket information. It's all happening tonight, and there are a number of guys. Sergeant Slaughter's here tonight. this blonde guy that Roddy likes to talk about is going to be there tonight, too.
I'd like to say congratulations to Don Owens, too, for the 60th anniversary.
Absolutely.
I think that's nice.
There's going to be a KATU Sports Special Report, Lords of the Ring, on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and Sports Week will feature highlights of tonight's wrestling extravaganza
Don't forget
Saturday.
these nice people. Don't forget these
I won't forget. I want to ask you for one tip before you leave. You do talk show interviews. Can you give me some advice? How can I improve?
Get a job at a car wash.
Thank you. Roddy Piper, everybody.
Coming up, Tracy Berry brings us a look at Northwest